Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Roberta Hladek is calling in from Las Vegas, that fancy place, Las Vegas, although she doesn't live in one of the clubs. She has a clinical lab and she works outside of Las Vegas, but Roberta is an astonishing woman. She does such great things for people. And when I asked her what we should be talking about today, she said, well, we're working with horses. So I'd like to hear what you're doing, Roberta, with horses.
Well, with the AIM program, we can put our pets on, and a lot of people put inanimate objects on, like your home or your business, your skateboard, your car, all these other things. But we've been working with some horses through one of our participants that's been with us for a very long time. She works with a lot of horses that have different issues. So the owners have opted to try them on the AIM program, and they're doing pretty well. So they've only been on for a short period of time, so we're still, it takes time, just like us, but they are seeing improvement. And then I'm also going to be working with a young woman she's just unbelievable. She's a Afghanistan vet. She was in the military in Afghanistan, and she has PTSD from that. She luckily, when they hit a bomb and it threw her, and she had a very bad concussion, I guess. But she's doing fabulous, but she's working with animals, and she's rescuing animals. So I'm going to be giving her some scholarships to use for some of these animals that she's rescuing, and they're all animals that have issues.
For instance?
Well, one of them was left on the side of the road. It had been shot.
Oh, please.
And it had all sorts of terrible things to this poor guy, and you should see him. He is precious, and he's called Champion, and Champion's doing awesome. And he's just, I don't know how she's ever going to give him up, because I think he's found his mom.
I'm sure that happens. But
yeah.
So tell me what you do. Tell me when you get it. Tell me what you do for them.
Excuse me. Well, what we do is with a photograph, and of course they have to fill out the paperwork, but we gift them a scholarship for the year. And we put their photograph on our plates, as some call us. One of my friends calls it the grid, and she says, well, I'm on the grid. So we're putting the animals on the AIM program, and what happens is the frequencies are being sent to them just like they are to the other participants, the human participants that are on the program. And what it does is it helps remove any of their hereditary dispositions, as well as active and chronic things. But also it helps with behavioral problems, PTSD in our vets that are coming back from parts unknown. Also the animals. We found that a lot of these, everyone's into rescuing a dog or a cat from the pound. And these animals have scars, whether they're visible or they're mental. But they do have scars, and we've found that it's really helping a lot. We've heard some fabulous stories. So animals are always been close to Stephen and I, and Evan as well. And so we kind of have a soft spot in our heart for them. So I'm opting to give some programs to this young woman to help some of these animals that are down and out and that she's rescued.
Well, I know that my Charlie is on you call it the grid, I don't call it the grid, but he's on AIM, and he's been having a lot of problems. He has problems with his legs, he has problems with now he has some diarrhea, and it's just all sorts of things happening, but I just love him, and I just keep taking care of him. So, but I don't know what you can. I think you once, as a matter of fact, you did get him. You did have him on your computer, and you did find things which actually the vet found also then after you found them.
Oh, great. Because usually the frequencies when we pick them up as frequencies, they're usually, Steve used to always say, they're like a pinhole. So it's very sensitive. And when I'm testing that photograph on my trays, and we have visuals up on our website, you can look at a video, and it'll show the trays, and show us testing. But when I have your photograph on there, whether it's a human or an animal, whoever it is telling me what's going on with them. It's not that I'm psychic or anything like that. I'm just able to, through the way our system has been programmed, we're able to take the information that the animal or the person is giving us by way of their energy and their photograph. It's telling us in the computer system in English what's going on with you. So that's when we put the animals on, like when we did a special recheck on Charlie when you were mentioning that he was having some issues and we were checking him. That's what he was telling me what was going on with him, and interesting that the vet found similar things.
He did, exactly.
That's just great.
He had pancreatic stuff going on, and that was, and you had talked about that, but he's not having that now. But so all of a sudden he starts with diarrhea. I mean, it's like, I don't know. And I love this dog so much. Of course, he was a rescue, but he was with a person. The man just had to go to a nursing home, and so we took him. And he's really made great progress in his personality with us, because he was fearful of things, and he's not fearful now. But he also is not doing well, physically. So I just keep trying to take care of him like I would if I just got him what they call a wheelchair for dogs. It's very special, and because his back legs aren't working, so I put him into this little thing, and his front legs are fine, and he pulls himself along.
Oh my goodness, how cute is that?
Yeah, well, they have that. You see, everyone loves their pets, as you said, and we don't. I mean, if the pet's in pain, I don't think that they should remain living. But this dog is not in pain. He's happy, wags his tail. He doesn't want these things happening to him. So,
Oh, precious Charlie.
Yeah, precious Charlie. He is. He's very special, and it's just... Do you have dogs there, don't you? I think you told me.
We have cats.
Oh, you have cats. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's right, because Steve loved cats.
Yep. And then I have an office cat, Hazel. And Hazel is coming up on, I think she's 15.
Oh, my.
And she's doing really well. And I rescued her in California before we moved. Huh. And she was just a kitten. And she's always been in the office. That's all she knows. And she's pretty special. And
so how does she get fit? So at night, she just stays there when you all are gone?
Yes, she has her own room, and she knows when we're getting ready to go. She goes into her room.
Really?
And she's got all of her toys, and she has a tree, and she can look out the window, and she just, she's happy there. I tried taking her home with me for a weekend, and she just wasn't happy. I had to bring her back.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, she doesn't play well with others.
Right, and she's used to it. She felt very secure with the way you've taken care of her. Oh, that is very special. Well, let's get back on with the horses again, because, I know that horses are, it's not something that we can cuddle with and we can't take home. And they're very special animals. And I've never had a horse. Have you ever had a horse?
I had. When I was young, I used to work at a ranch, so it's kind of like having my own horse. I didn't actually own it, but I took care of so many horses, but one in particular that I used to take care of. And they are very special. They pick up on a lot. It's like having a big 2-year-old. Right.
They are. I mean, we've seen movies about them and all, but they're huge, and they're very sweet, but I just never had the pleasure, because I guess I've been on a horse, but I haven't really been a rider like some people ride their horses. But I know that they now have horses helping people, handicapped people with stroke. There's a certain thing, and I don't know exactly what that is, that people get when they get on a horse. Do you know about those programs?
Yes, they work a lot with the autistic kids and Down's children too, and it is really special. There is a connection that horses make with these people, and horses will pick up on your fear, and they pick up on all that. But it's really interesting with these people that have issues that the horses can really help them, give them support, and I guess it's they just have that way. I can't explain it. I've seen it, but these horses that we've been working with, they're up in the Washington area.
The state of Washington?
Yes, and they have a lot of, a couple of them have some health issues, and this woman and her husband are pretty special too. They are able to connect and communicate with the horses on some level, and she picks up on a lot of stuff, and she was mentioning to me that when she's been there with the horses since they've been on AIM, they're much calmer, and they're healing faster, so that's really impressed with their progress. So we're crossing our fingers that they do really well and continue doing well on the program and can avoid some of the surgeries and things that were inevitable for them before. So the owners have opted to give this a shot, and so we're working really hard with them to try and see what we can help them out with.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're doing that. So. But tell me now, of course, you brought up the whole thing with autistic children and how they do get on horses and it does help them. But let's get back to the autistic children. Tell me some of the good news that really is working for them on the AIM program, because that is so important. And I don't think people who have autistic children even understand it or know about AIM.
Yeah, it's an amazing well, I just think our program's amazing anyway, and I would be a part of it even if I didn't work here and wasn't gifted with the gift to be able to do this. But we have some amazing stories of these kids with autism and adults as well, and how they're being able to go back into, I guess, what we would call the mainstream. A lot of these folks, they're so bright, but they just aren't able to communicate in the way that the rest of us are able to communicate. So the AIM program has helped a lot of these folks get past some of that and be able to be more communicative and be able to pass different tests at school and to be with the other kids in different classes instead of a special ed class. They're able to cross over, and that's so important. And it's really hard on a family when you have a special needs child along with other children, because it requires a lot of attention and it's hard to spread yourself. And I suppose in these days too, I mean, these folks are taking their kids to, practice here and practice there. I mean, they have so many programs, and it's not like when we were kids where we could just ride our bikes and go wherever. You can't do that now. So now it's quite a bit different. So these folks have been doing really, really well, and we're hearing such great stories of kids being more verbal, and we even have tiny ones. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, as soon as they've been diagnosed, parents have been putting them on. And one thing that I would like to let those know that are listening to the program, that if you have an autistic child that you would like to put on the program, we also give the parent, one parent or guardian, a 50% discount if they come on at the same time as the child or adult.
Right. Okay, that's a very important thing, yes. And there must be, is there an autistic organization like they have for, the Down syndrome? There must be something like that. Do they know of you?
We have a center that's in our complex here that I was going to go over and talk to them about it. see if they would be interested in, putting some of the kids on the program or coming over and at least seeing the trays
Right.
and kind of taking a tour, I guess, and see. But most of the information that's out there is because of programs like yours, as well as on our newsletter that we send out and our facilitators around the world that have given the information out. So we try and do it that way. And I've got a lot of stuff on Facebook. I do a lot of little blurbs up about autism and the kids that are on in the program.
Okay, that's really good. I was thinking that we could do an e-blast for you. Now, I was doing it for you, but should we do it for the autism organization, or maybe it's better to do it for you? And in it we can say about the autism. Do you have a flyer or something that you put out?
For autism?
Yes.
Not in particular. Normally when we put up our ads, and I've got some ads in some other magazines and things, that we do mention that we have a program for autism. But we should probably, I'll tell my internet person that maybe we should do a flyer just for autism. Mm-hmm.
Maybe so. Well, I would be glad to. I guess what I should do is I want to put something out for you anyway on an e-blast, but I know it doesn't have anything specifically about autism, but maybe if you put something on your web with it, we can pull it from your web or something. I don't know how we could do that.
Yeah, we'll have to. We do have information on our website about autism.
Oh, okay.
So we have different. We have our testimonials, and then we have some other things.
Yeah, I know you do. Maybe we just pull something from there, and when we do I know we've done an e-blast for you before, but I think we should do another one because, we sit and we talk about all this, but there are so many people who have had such serious illness, whether mentally or physically, and when they get on the AIM program, it really makes a difference, whether it cures it or whether it helps it. It is really a marvelous thing, and it's all about energy because people can't do what you can do, really. They work on it, but I think what you have really just snaps it up. I know you say everybody can heal themselves. Well, but I think that getting on the AIM program, it makes the difference.
Well, the difference is because the AIM program focuses on you, and you're taking in all that information on another level. If we had to heal ourselves, which we can, but we would have to focus on it 24/7, and I don't know about you, but I have a lot of other stuff going on. I can't just sit there and focus on that. So, and I'm sure a lot of others out there are the same thing. And that's the beauty of it. And that's some of our newer participants were saying that, it's so great because they don't really have to do anything. It's not like they have to go somewhere. They don't have to make a doctor's appointment or make an appointment to come in. They can if they want to come in and see the trays, but it's not like you have a weekly appointment or a monthly appointment. It's no time out of your schedule.
Yeah, that's true. It's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, and it's there to support you with the positive affirmations as well as, all the other stuff that goes along with that.
Yeah, I know that. So now, but in your office, it's just you, and there are a couple of other people I know. Sometimes when we call you, we speak to other people. So tell me, who else is there?
I have 3 other staff members. I have Cynthia, who works data entry, Stephanie, who does more of my internet stuff, and then I have Angela, who runs the front office, and she does all the answering the phone calls, etc. But actually, all 3 of them do everything. So
right. When you have a small staff, everybody has to do everything.
Exactly. We all do everything. So if the phone's ringing and everybody's on a phone, one of us picks it up. So we're small but mighty.
I love it. Oh, that's a good. Oh, can I copy that?
Yes,
small
you sure
but
can. We're small but mighty.
Small but mighty. Yeah, you do a lot of big things. I know that. It's really great. So, okay. Well, let's. I think what everyone ought to hear. And of course, my guest is Roberta Hladek, and Roberta is one of the founders of what we call the AIM program. And the AIM program is an interesting organization. For those of us who know the AIM program, we know it as energy. It's an energy program. When you send in your picture, it's all there, isn't it? It's like people don't even understand that. That's why a lot of people there's new computer programs, they want your picture. I think it's dangerous to do that. Don't you?
Yeah, it depends on what your picture is going to be used for. And people have asked me, they said, well, if it can do good, it could probably do bad. And it's a funny story. When Stephen and I, years ago, he was going to try and see what he could do if he could make something happen to me. I mean, not bad, but he said, let me see if I can give you a headache. And what it made me, and what it did was I ended up cleaning the house from top to bottom, and I had all this energy. And he said, it's just our program, it's more about our intention, too, but there's nothing negative that we can transmit, so to speak, through the trays. There's no negative frequency that we can transmit. It just won't work. So for whatever reason, and we don't look to find negative things to transmit. That's not the purpose of our program.
No, of course not.
But I would think that in the wrong hands, maybe someone could probably figure that out.
Right.
So I would be very careful with my photograph being out. And then some people say, but our photographs are at the DMV, and we're probably being photographed a lot these days because everyone has a camera in their car. We have cameras in our phones. We have cameras on our homes. I mean, everywhere you go, there's cameras. So, but it's just the intention of what someone's using that information for, and that's the bottom line.
No, I understand that, and that's why I say that, because people don't realize, they don't really think about their picture. So now we have all these people with pictures on Facebook. They have their family. They have everywhere. Is that a safe thing to do? I know it's back to what you're saying. I
guess it's all about intention and that kind of thing. And we do have different frequencies on the AIM program that kind of are protection frequencies. So I guess if we're on AIM, we have those. I have not heard, but I'm not involved in any of that kind of stuff. But I'm always careful, like, with my Facebook program, it's personal for me, just for me to keep in touch with my nieces and things with their kids. But they're very careful with names and photographs of their kids.
Yeah, I think you have to do that because it's so important. You don't think that, what is it in a face that you can pick up on your computer? I mean, I don't really understand it. I know you do, but I don't.
Well, we're picking up on your energy, and it kind of goes back to the tribal times when the Aborigines never wanted their photograph taken because they felt that it stole their soul. And, when we have, I think it's iridology, where they can look in your eyes and they can tell, because they say the eyes are the of the soul.
Right.
So our faces tell a lot, and when you're talking to someone, you can tell by their facial expression. If they think you're. When I talk to people about AIM, sometimes they look at me and they quiver, their eyebrows go up, they're like,
really?
Okay, rolling their eyes, different things. So. And then others that totally get it, but we can always see in our facial expressions. So I think it's the same. I'm picking up on a vibration of you when I check your photograph. And so when I'm checking it, I'm just listening to what you're telling me, and the computer just tells me in English. So, because I can't read you.
And this amazing. Now, I do know about energy so much because I know it does impossible things. There are people who are really into this. You know, when they study it and they really know, just like you do and Stephen did, you can really, and I'm going to say this, move mountains, even though you're not moving mountains, but you are doing things similar. And it's the intenseness of what your motivation is that really does do this. Because I told you I was once in this mind control course, and it's amazing what we could do, but we had to be trained, and I lost it because I didn't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. Our minds are super powerful, and you can kind of see that when I've heard of friends or relatives where they've been given a diagnosis from a physician, and because the physician's always been very highly respected to all of us. So when they tell you something, you have to be very careful to listen to what they're telling you. But I've seen that, like with my with a family member. As soon as he was told that he had X number of months to live or whatever it happened to be, I can't even remember now. It's been so long ago. He pretty much was done. He kind of figured, well, they told me that, so they must know. And he pretty much lasted as long as they told him he would last. And sometimes I think that our minds are super powerful, and they can make that change in us. I don't know. That's my belief.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, I certainly love talking to you. You're always so bright and such a wonderful woman. And, you know, we have never met, which is outrageous. And let me tell you, and I haven't been to Las Vegas for many, many, many years, but I wouldn't dare go there without meeting you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I feel the same way. One of these days I'm going to get down to Florida.
Okay. Well, I have an extra bedroom. I have an extra bedroom. You come stay there.
I can't wait to meet Charlie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just working to keep him around. You know, it's interesting how much I just love this dog so much. I want to do anything to keep him going. So. Oh,
definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Roberta. And I hope you get some rain.
I hope so, too.
I'm going to blow it our way to you.
There you go.
Thanks again. All right.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, Roberta. Bye.
Bye.